I think it's unusual that families still sing together because people are so scattered today. Like I say, we have one of our sisters lives in the state of Washington and a brother in the state of New York. So even we don't get together as much as we did. But I think it's important part of the family unit that we still sing, and it's a part of how we visit just with our music.
Now this is also an example of the great negotiations up here. This family has been playing music together for a number of generations. The matriarch of the family, I'm glad to see they have her sitting in the middle today. I will pass my mic over any moment now.
Down the road here from me, there's an old hollow tree where you lay down $1 or two. Go round the bend and you get back again. Got a jug full of that good old Mountain Dew. Hey, they call it that good old Mountain Dew. And that it is at our feet. I'll adjust my mug and fill up my cup with that good old Mountain Dew.
We'll get together once a year at Mountain Heritage Day and sing. We practice a little bit before we go on, but it's, as a family, you just sing together. It's something you've done all your life. We grew up singing together. You know how everybody plays and they sing and they know the parts.
You ought to see Miss Cindy, she lives way down south. She's a sweet honeybee, going around the mouth. Get along home, Cindy, get along home.
My grandmother one time, my grandfather had his banjo laying on the bed, so I went by and picked it up, started strumming on it, and I was just, I was just making a noise. In other words, I was just strumming up and down on the strings. She come by and looked at me. She said, "You've got to learn to pick that thing if you want to." She said, "You've got to pick it." She said, you just don't make a noise with it." Said, "You've got to learn to pick it." And it's one of my favorite instruments. Of course, the rest of them, they play different instruments. Some of them, my son and Delbert and Henry, I mean, they play guitar, banjo, and fiddle. Some of them can play different. But I just kindly stuck to the banjo. It was my favorite instrument. Enjoy picking and playing. It's fun.
Peaches in the summertime, apple in the fall. If I can have the Cindy girl, won't let none at all.
Get along home, Cindy, get along home. Get along home, Cindy, I believe now.
Go, Henry.
Mother was very good, and she'd point out, that you hold this string, the string, just number them, and the frets, number them off, and then, the G chord, so you had to learn, exactly where to place and put those fingers, and had to practice that, and practice it, and it just sort of came natural, though, and they knew that, they just pointed out the basics, and we just all took it from that. And you even learned some of the fiddle from Grandpa, didn't you?
Yeah, my grandpa learnt me
A lot of the old fiddle
like
stuff.
a lot of the old fiddle tunes and stuff like that. And then other fiddle players, like helped me, show me some stuff. But really, anybody can sit and show you, but I mean, you gotta really put her up here and get your own.
Yeah, a man's got to make it his, that's right, a man's got to make it his
really
own.
your own sound, I guess.
I mean, I remember growing up, you didn't have all this entertainment that young people have today. I mean, the only thing we had was the radio. So you made your own entertainment. So, I mean, we always, Mother and Daddy played and we all sung. And so did our grandfather and our uncles and cousins. And I mean, it was just a way of life. And we enjoyed it.
We look forward to doing shows like down Mountain Heritage Day, that kind of thing. Just number one, because we can be together.
Ho!
anywhere yet. She's a North Carolina Heritage Award winner. She's been perpetuating this music and keeping it alive with her family and all their friends for years. Give a big hand to Mary Jane Queen, all of 90-something.
Thank you. It's just amazing how much the leaves has changed color in the last 2 or 3 days.
Last day or two.
Well, now see up through the holler out here, lower down, how the leaves has changed, but up on the mountain, it's not changed that much.
Yeah, they ain't changed much.
Not up. Well, it's a fading. You can see up yonder, way up.
There'll be a frost or two though before long. They'll color up quick in the first part of October, won't they?
Oh yes. From now till middle of October, they'll change. 1935, Claude and I got married. I came over here and I've lived here on the head of Johns Creek ever since. Well, I've lived here about 68 years. That's how long Claude and I would have been married if he'd lived this long. We raised our family here, and we had 8 children, 4 boys and 4 girls.
My mom and daddy had kind of 2 sets of kids. You know, the first 4 was grown and gone when the second ones, came along and was older. So it was kind of 4 boys and 4 girls.
I was raised by learning to play around one of these. We had one of them here, so this is a little newer, but I'm going to try a little song in it for you called the Cumberland Gap. A little claw hammer style banjo.
As a little girl, I can remember Mama in the kitchen, making biscuits in the kitchen, singing one of them old ballads, and I didn't know it as a little girl. I didn't know what that song was, but I have that memory of her singing, like when she'd be making gravy or frying potatoes or, whatever, fixing supper,
She knows all kinds of songs, that the old ballads, dates back probably in the 1800s, maybe older.
How old are you, my pretty fair miss? How old are you, my honey? Chesterton with a T. Be 16 next Sunday. Be 16 next Sunday. Last night I was sleeping in the warm, warm bed beside my husband and baby. Night I'm sleeping on the cocoa ground, sleeping with a blackjack David, sleeping with a blackjack David. It was late last night when her husband came inquiring of his lady. He was told by a pretty fair miss, she'd gone with a blackjack David, gone with a blackjack David.
Mother taught most of us. Daddy did some and helped some, but he didn't have as much patience as Mother, so she taught us more actually how to play. And I was little. I know the guitar was big, it seemed big, but Mother taught us how to play that. But we always sung together from even when we were little, and I remember everybody else singing, and then as we would grow older and learn the songs and could sing along and keep time with them, then we would just all sing together.
Mother used to play guitar prior to her getting, really, banjo was easier for her to play, but she used to play guitar as well. And she taught me how to play groundhog, and I just, I was like probably about 8 years old.
And I'd have a lot of trouble, like when you're growing up a little boy, and I'd fumble with it, and back here on the end of the porch, I know one night I was sat back there, I mean, I'd beat and pecked on that guitar, and my dad, he come and had to take that out of my hands and make me go to bed. But I learned, you know.
Yeah, that's it. See, there's the root.
Now that other ones will come back from that leaf
Oh, yeah.
part of it in there.
This is one of the roots of the golden seal, and there's the bud for it to come up next year. This is where it broke off the.
We could actually plant that right back.
Yeah, oh yes, and he'd come back next year. Right there's the bud to come back.
But
there's where you broke the other
yeah,
off.
we'll just take that little bunch onto the house.
Oh yes,
This
yes.
winter it'll be hard to find that.
Yeah, you'll not find it this winter.
Grandpa Queen and them had them old pictures, and they left them. They've been there ever since. A lot of music in all the families pretty much has been here with it. If these walls could talk and sing, they could sure tell a whole bunch of tales, couldn't they, Mother?
There was a lady here one time, she said, don't you need an audience when you're playing your banjo? I said, I've got one. I said, the birds and the trees is my audience. Well, I don't think she liked that, but then I didn't care.
I popped her, baby.
I thought I was going to have to get the fan, Delbert.
I've got a brand new set, don't worry.
You would quickly get that back in that case so you get it cooled off.
Where's my gauge at?
See if your gauge is down there.
My gauge is on 80.
Probably my very favorite childhood memory as a little girl was whenever we would all pile in the back of Daddy's old pickup truck and we would drive across the mountain and go over where my Grandpa Prince and Grandma lived. Before we'd ever get to Grandma and Grandpa's house, we could hear them singing.
We used to go over there almost like every Saturday night. They'd pick and sing. It'd start about 7 o'clock, quit sometime in the morning. I mean, continuous picking and singing and play all night.
They say a love bug will get you at the age of 23. Well, I'm not telling my age, but something got a hold of me.
I'm just craving some loving in that old-fashioned way. Honey, let me hear and listen to what I have to say. Why don't you howl off and love me one more time? Don't you squeeze me till I'm turning blind. You don't cuddle up and love me like I want you to do. I'm gonna haul off and die over you on the verse ever.
Well, I can feel your warm lips near me, hear your breeze so soft and fine. I can feel the matrimony crawling up and down my spine.
Say that love won't hurt you 'cause it feels so nice and kind. It seems mighty close to heaven when your love is on the line. Why don't you haul off and love me one more time? Or don't you squeeze me until I'm a turning blind? If you don't cuddle up and love me like I want you to do, I'm gonna haul off and die over you.
The one on the left, the boy that's a-smiling, was my oldest brother, Ernest. That's my dad, my mother, and this is the next oldest boy. Him and Ernest looks like twins, but they're not. Well, my brother bought a Bronco, and Dad and Mother was out there looking at it, and Mirren said to him, "Dad, hug Mother up like you loved her." And he did. And so that's when he snapped the picture.
Haul off and die over you. Gonna haul off and die over you.
And this was made in New York in the 1880s. Patent September 26 and 82 in New York. Jasper A. Morris and Company. So it's amazing that, you know, they were this popular and nice of banjos being made at the same time that the old mountaineers who were making their own. So there was a few of these. But I like the sound of it. It's got quite a good sound. It's a lot louder than a little old homemade fretless banjo like that. I'll play a little tune on it. I've got it tuned in the old.
I said to Claude one day, I saw he was getting worse. He didn't talk, he didn't eat. And I said to him, I said, "Well, what do you want done with this land?" He said, "Well, I want the children to have it." Well, I said, "You better get out and start surveying." He said, "I'm not able." He said, "You'll have to do it." I said, "Okay, I'm going to go start right now." I came to the top of the hill up there. I could see all of the property. And I said, "Well, I've got it surveyed out." Now I said, as they come home, I'll tell them where, pick out which place they want. And so that's what I let them do. And I had no problems with dividing the land with them. And I'm very thankful for that, because a lot of people gets mad. They won't talk to each other, and they will kill over land. It has happened many a time. And I'm very thankful that it didn't happen like that here. And now we can walk on out a little further out here.
We get on out here a little more.
Yeah, where we can see up to the top of the mountain up here.
We got to get so we can see above these trees right here.
See the mountain range? It comes all the way around till up here at this gap. Then it comes on around, and there's another gap over here. And that through that gap was where my mother and dad lived, right through that gap over there. Then it comes on around, and through this comes here where the creek goes through and where the road goes through. It's all surrounded by mountains.
I was born right inside that house right there. I was born in February. I'm an Aquarius baby. And I grew up here, didn't have TV, didn't have a telephone.
We had one battery for the radio that was humongous. It was, I don't know, looks like a car, like 3 car batteries. And I remember they would let us listen to WSM. Click off went the radio because they didn't want to kill all the battery power. And they would listen, my oldest brother, I remember him, he used to listen to the Lone Ranger, you know. And actually in those days, I may say this, it's not like it is today. You know how kids turn on TVs and just walk away from it, they never watch it. There they sit and watch the radio.
We could get to Grand Ole Opry, Wheeling, West Virginia, and Cincinnati, Ohio. When I was a kid, sometimes the weather was just right and everything was the humidity and everything. We could pick them up clear as a bell. You could hear Nashville, Tennessee just like sitting right there at it.
Sometimes we'd be listening at it, and the airwaves or whatever, it'd go off, and the best song they'll play, it'd go off, and gradually it start coming back in, loud, where you'd hear it.
Yeah, how the weather affected it. But boy, on some nights you could pick up Nashville just like being there, couldn't you, Delbert?
Just
and then
like
again,
if you're sitting there in the front
then again,
row.
a man could turn that knob till he wore it off the radio and couldn't pick up a thing.
I grew up listening to soap operas instead of watching them. But I could just visualize all those families, all that was going on. And we really did listen. I mean, and then when it was over, you turned the radio off. And my favorite program used to come on at night, and it was a 30-minute program, and it was Dr. Christian. And his nurse was Judy. I remember it even now.
We got a TV. We got the first TV. All Flat and Scruggs came on almost every Saturday night, and Porter Wagner, and then Flat and Scruggs. When I made it efforts to be in the house at that time, I'd get all my work done. We'd watch the programs. Of course, we picked up a lot like that.
Don't this come out of a rock up there?
Well, the one prong of it, little part, it starts there, and then it feeds in from all the little hollers, a little water here, a little water there, and by the time it gets down here, it's quite a bit of water.
See, and that's the way the big streams are. When it comes these big storms like this, it picks the water up on top of these mountains, and then by the time it runs and gets down here and gets together, it's a big river. Well, when it gets on down and goes into Caney Fork, it makes it that much bigger. When it gets in Tuckasegee, it's a river there. I enjoy seeing all the mountains, the streams of water, even the flood. I even enjoyed seeing all of that water going down the creek out there. But I have seen people that just worries about this and worries about that. I'm not a worrying person. If you is a nature lover, everything goes good. It always has with me. If you love nature and get out and enjoy nature, you can't sit in a house in front of a TV. I can't. I don't enjoy it. Well, I watch, you want me to tell you what I watch on TV? In the afternoon, I watch the 6 o'clock news and the 7 o'clock news. That's all I watch. A lot of people watches these soap operas. Not me. I'd rather be out here just walking around and looking at the trees and the mountains, the streams of water, flowers, even the bumblebees. I love to watch them. They go from one flower to another, and it's amazing how they get all of this nectar, and the honeybees the same. How they get the nectar and the pollen on their legs and carry it to a gum or a hive and get that into honey. It is. It's just amazing.
My grandpa Delbert Queen had all this
All
land,
of
and it got
this.
broke up a few times, but old man Albert got it all. at
He
one
had it
time.
all. Yeah.
And his
100
daddy Luke.
acres.
Well, he split it.
Luke.
My daddy and Uncle Bob and
Oh yeah.
Well, that's
Lewis and
okay.
John
That's what
R.
happens. You take 3 or
and
4
Mary
generations
Jane.
of 10 young'uns. So now, if you had 5 young'uns and split your 2 acres for 5 kids,
yeah, not much.
so it won't work too many more generations of splitting it among too many kids. They ain't gonna have enough. They wouldn't have enough room to stand up on.
In this part of the country, the grapevines grow quite big, so we would take the axe and cut the grapevine that was probably 2 inches in diameter, probably I would say about that, at the trunk of the tree. And we would back up on the hill, and we could go out quite high with it until maybe the grapevine started to die a little bit, and you were very unfortunate if you were 20 foot off the ground and it decided to let go of the top of the tree, which has happened.
Or Daddy
Luckily, no head injuries, but we, and our dad used to get furious at us for doing that.
Or-
But
or
we'd wait till they
Daddy
went away
caught
and then we
us.
would go doing it.
Daddy caught us swinging on those grapevines, and the next time we went, they weren't there.
These are rugged mountains, and some of the stuff is tough, especially trees and stuff. A man run against one of them.
Well, the tree's a lot harder than your head is.
As kids, we could roam these mountains, and we could play, and it didn't matter where it didn't matter whose land we were on. It's not like it is now. We could play in the creek. We could, when it snowed, it didn't matter where we rode our sleds. It didn't matter.
It was free range.
Right.
All over the mountains. Well, they'd turn their hogs in the spring. They'd put them out in a certain area. Then they'd go feed those hogs every week. They'd take corn and go feed them hogs, call them up and feed them. And they stayed right around that area
there
where they fed them. Well, they let them run out like that till, like in this month, they would put them hogs, come and get them out of the woods, take the ones home that they was going to butcher, and they would put them in a hog pen and feed them about 3 weeks on corn before they butchered them to get the taste of the mast, they call it.
The wildness.
The wild mast out of their system before they killed them. And then a lot of people killed maybe 3, but they always killed them in November.
November, it was cold enough then.
It was cold enough then to kill them hogs, and they all had smokehouses, and if it got a little warm, they'd build a little fire to make it smoke to keep flies from.
Right, they had to cure it that way.
That's how they cured they salted it down And
if you
then-
want to use the old term, cure, that's, I've heard that word. too.
Yeah. Your daddy always said cure the meat.
I know, that was their old-timey term.
Yeah.
That was from a little different dialect some way, but it was good.
But anyway, and the sheep, they'd put them on
Yeah,
the
and the
mountains.
cattle, sheep,
and their
horse.
cattle. It was a free range.
This is one of our mountain friends that not too many people get to see. Here he is. Now, I always thought, it's almost like faces on them walnuts. Walnuts, the black walnut will do that at times. And that and there, I could just cut it and stick a feather or two in him. I think he'd look right good right there. But I'll just leave it for nature.
You know, though, man has done a lot of damage to our country. They've cleared it all and has built homes for people, but they should leave a few trees. But I can't tell people what to do. I've always enjoyed nature all my life, and I've always enjoyed helping make a garden.
It's not that wet. We just lay off a little row right here for them and
Okay.
plant us a couple of them in there.
I've heard people say that they didn't want to do outside work. They didn't want to get their hands dirty. A lot of the people is like that. They don't want to do work like the older people did. They think they're too good to do that kind of work. They rather sit at a desk, and you can pretty well know each and every one of them because they're so pale. They never get no sunshine, no fresh air.
Maybe some of the people hadn't had this kind of a life. I mean, wouldn't understand what living on a roughing it out in the country. And was that song, "A Country Boy Can Survive"? That's pretty true.
After Claude and I were married, we had cows to milk. We went to raising children. I took care of the children. My husband worked off, well, he'd help in the summertime to make the crop, but then the rest of the time he was working on public jobs to make money to buy the things that the children had to have going to school, things that we had to have for the house.
He always kept us in clothing and food. I mean, we always had something, clothing and food. And he's a happy man. Of course, most of our people are kind of the happy-go-lucky. I don't know what you'd call us, but anyway, we're Scott-Irish. We enjoy life.
Before my dad died, the last thing he did, he was sick for a lot of years with emphysema, and he contracted a man that he knew to build the porch and enlarge the porch and make it bigger so that all of us could get in here and pick and sing and so on and so forth.
And dance if they wanted
and
to.
dance if we wanted to, you know. And he had the man to do the sign, and that was the very last thing he did. So that's a real special sign to us.
He drove the
up there.
nails and hung that sign up. That's the last thing he ever done.
On that resurrection morning when all dead in Christ shall rise.
I'll have new body.
Praise the Lord, I'll have a new life. Graves are bursting, saints are shouting, there'll be lily all around.
New body.
Praise the Lord, I'll have a new life. I'll have a new home, will return, or rather redeem of God's just
Sad,
time.
there'll be more sorrow.
No more pain, there'll be no more strife, no strife, rage in the likeness of my Savior to live in glory land.
I'll have new body.
Praise the Lord, I'll have a new life. You know it.
Free from every imperfection, youthful and
Happy I shall be.
I'll have new body.
Praise the Lord, I'll have a new life.
Glorified
Fight with Him forever, death to be lost in the victory.
I'll have new body.
Praise the Lord, I'll have a new life. I'll have a new home.
And another thing my father always told me when we were picking, like singing songs, he said, he said slow songs, he said keep an up tempo like your music. He said keep it up tempo because he liked up tempo music. In other words, fast. And I taught my son, and a lot of times they're trying to slow Mark down from when he's picking, because we play a lot of fast tunes. And he can move on them.
How about Salt Creek, eh?
Okay.
That's a way to pick on that thing there, Mark.
Yeah.
Some of the people from, I don't know if it was Japan, I think it was a building, some kind of a big building here in South Carolina or in North Carolina one, and they wanted all the rocks that had moss on them like that right there.
Yeah, for the Japanese gardens and stuff, you mean?
Yeah, that's what they wanted, but they wanted the moss left on them. Said they was the aged rocks that had the moss on them.
You know,
But all these rocks was washed in here from somewhere or in the Ice Age. That big rock could have been brought in here in the Ice Age.
Many different times, you're right, Mother. Back to the Ice Age, 10, 15,000 years ago, sometime in that probably.
Yeah. Right there, where them rocks are, is where you built your chimney to roast potatoes
Yeah.
and
I remember that.
boil eggs in a bucket. Your grandpa and your grandma, all of the older people before us That big rock has been laying right where it is now. And
Well, I'm glad in a way, 'cause
their children, our neighbors' children, you children, you all played on top of that big rock.
hey, listen, when it gets bad enough to start moving that rock around, the man,
You believe
You,
a man will be calling in something.
Actually, when we were growing up, just about every family that was in the community was quite a large family. I mean, there was a lot of cousins and
You always had family and friends, somebody to stick up for you, take your part when things went wrong.
Back when we were growing up, like at Christmas time, you only got like a couple of sticks of candy and an orange, and maybe a small, very small toy, like of sometimes, and sometimes you didn't. But nowadays, I mean, you know, kids get so much stuff that they don't know what to play with, or they've got so much that they just pass it all by. Where back in our time, if you had a very small amount, we enjoyed getting it. I mean, it was a pleasure to get it.
We had the garden, we had lots of chores to do. As far, you know, at that time we had to carry water to put in the old ring-in washing machine to wash the clothes. And so clothes washing was a big thing. You know, you done that a couple of times a week, and we had to carry the water for it. And so we were quite busy during the day, you know, with gardening or maybe gathering and canning. Because at that time, Mother didn't have a freezer, so most everything was canned.
We worked some outside, the girls did, but the boys worked more outside with Daddy, and we would help can and cook and everything to canning to make the jams and the jellies in the summertime. Even when we were little, we helped with that.
Many of the time, you know, we'd be out in the field, like plow the fields down there and come home with dinner. Mother'd fix dinner. And while she was getting dinner, we'd pick 4 or 5 tunes with the banjo and fiddle, and sometimes just 2 guitars. Go eat, rest a little bit, maybe pick another and go back to the fields and work.
That's right.
I mean, we've just got everything easier this day and time, but I mean, I enjoyed it growing up. It's different now, you know.
Yeah, it's changed somewhat, through here, but it's, you know, still we've got pretty much the old ways.
It's pretty much like it were, you know.
I mean, the roads and stuff changed a little bit, made it more
Right.
modern and stuff. Of course, we've modernized with radios and televisions and stuff to keeping up with time, but
Yeah.
like you said a minute ago, it makes it a lot easier on a
Yeah,
man's
it
lifestyle.
does.
Because you spend all your time working somewhere else, man, they don't have time for
No.
farming around the place as much
No,
anymore.
not no
Even
more.
Daddy took to public work,
Yeah.
carrying the dinner bucket,
Yeah.
and you know, the farming work got kind of left behind for that type of public work, which made more money and a better lifestyle. And they always taught us to be that way, didn't they?
Yeah.
You know, to better ourselves.
Better
and try to-
ourselves. That's
Said you
right.
don't want to have to live like we did, you know. They thought it was too tough, so they thought it'd be better to get educated or whatever and try to
Yeah.
do better. And we've tried, anyhow.
Okay, here's one called the Greenback Dollar, and we'll feature Mary Jane Queen, our mom.
Ready?
yes,
Go.
go ahead. Play it. I was born in East Virginia, North Carolina I did roam. There I met
We walk out here and we can see the creek. Oh, and this is that old-timey vine. This is not a grapevine, but what the old-timers, a smoke vine. It's a much softer vine. They make a lot of basketry and stuff out of it today. But it's a different than the grapevine, but it grows all over this country. You could take this stuff and cut you out a section of it if you wanted to and split it in 4 ways or something, and that stuff will burn a long time with an unusual, what are the, yeah, but I mean, you can get them down, what do they call that? Forgot the name of it right now. Incense. Hey, a little bit of that hurricane winds off of, what is it, Jean? We're getting just a little bit of pull of that here this high in the mountains right here today. The winds, you know, little gusts, maybe 15, 20 mile an hour. Me and Delbert and us, we get on up here, and up in here is where we'd start, and you get this in solid ice. Now you can go around down through there pretty fast.
You better believe it. And they would carry water out of the creek.
Yeah, and pour on it so it'd freeze.
Till it'd freeze that night into solid ice.
Slide down it.
Yeah, and up here's where they'd come and get started. Well, by the time they got to the house, they run through the garden fence and their daddy was going to kill them. You children was like us. We played out in the open all the time, and you know that's the best. That's the best medicine you can have, is to be out in the open air, sunshine, and well, if it's raining, it don't hurt you.
There was never a dull moment in our family. There was always something going on. But you know, we were a close family, and if one achieved something, everybody else was so happy about it. But yeah, this is the mischievous one right there.
Easy now.
A big chestnut tree stood right there. That's the stump of it. When Claude and Bob cut that tree, that part of the rock slid off from up on top. And it's been there ever since like that. And all of these big poplars here has grown here since I came here.
They lowered you since almost we were kids.
See that little tree that's growing on the big rock, Kathy?
Oh yeah, we've all played all over that.
Unions has all played, but
it's
now
I mean, we've
it's
even
got poison oak on it.
I mean, back when we was so wild, Coy, Delbert, all of it, I mean, we try to throw each other off or everything.
I was 90 at my last birthday. So I'm about 90 and a half now. My birthday was in February. I have seen my dad live to be 93, my mother lived to be 90, and my sister, my older sister, she lived to be 93. And the first time I ever went to a doctor was when I had the problem with my heart running away. Doc Morgan, he asked me how old my parents were when they passed away, and I told him. He looked at me and kindly smiled. He said, "You will never die." Well, I'm still here. How much longer I'll be here, I don't know, but then, anyway.
There's a lot of good music out there in the world, but I think we should keep this going. It's something that should be carried on, as saying, handed down from one generation to the other. Keep it alive.
Come here and look at this. Now pull that open.
There's like a little berry, a little fruit.
There's the berry. We called them ground cherries.
The cherries. And
pick that out and eat it.
You could have that for food, and that'd be good food.
I've eaten many a one.
It's wild. It's got a wild flavor. What do you think?
Do you like it?
I'll not marry at all, and I'll not marry at all. I'll not marry a man that young, for he'll do crimes and then be hung, and I'll not marry all at all, and I'll not marry at all.
I guess a lot of people that grew up in the cities and even in town, you know, well, yeah, we were. I like to tell people I was country when country wasn't cool, and I guess I still am. But it was a good life, and people that didn't have this, they just don't know what they missed.
As a happy child at home, in my memory I can see, standing out upon the hill, neath the shadow of the tree. If I only had my way, it would give my heart a thrill. Just to simply wander back to the cabin on the hill. Oh, I want.
Look at this right here. You talking about a laurel bush? I've never seen anything quite like that one. There was another. This rock has protected it from the waters and stuff, and there's no telling how old that one is. Look how it grows, how they'll grow together. A laurel can grow in the most unusual ways.
Just to simply wander back to the cabin on the hill. But the saddest of it all, I can never more return to the happy child at home. Matters not a much a yearn. If I only had my way, it would give my heart a thrill. Just to simply wander back to the cabin on the hill.
Yeah, that's a little remnants of an earlier time. Of course, there was a forest here that we can only think about. We're seeing a great, beautiful forest still, but there was a forest here just 100 years ago that I would love to have been able to see.
I'd like to linger still. If I only had my way, it would give my heart a thrill. Just to simply wander back to the cabin on the hill, to the cabin on the hill.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Queen family, I'm Henry, and I approve this video.
We're so glad.
I knowed you would be.